Video games and ninjas are like peanut butter and jelly. No matter where you look, you will always find a new game trying to capture that childhood feeling we all had of wanting to be a ninja. Sekiro is no different, tackling both the sneaky side and head-on approach of a shinobi. But Sekiro is also made by FromSoft, a studio known for hard, often unfair games that people are hesitant to try. So, should you play Sekiro? Well, let's find out. Sekiro's story is a simple one. The divine heir has magical blood that allows for immortality. Evil bad guys wish to gain this power for their own evil schemes. And it's Sekiro's job to protect the divine heir and do his bidding. Kuro, the divine heir, wishes to sever the ties of immortality, and Sekiro goes on an adventure to gain different items in order to do so. Sekiro to me reminds me of more of the classic video game storytelling. The gist of the overall plot is easy to understand and follow along, but if you want more details, you can always do a little digging to find out more lore of the game. This is way different than FromSoft's other titles, which are heavy on lore and extremely light on storytelling, requiring you to search high and low to make sense of anything. Now, the story isn't going to make you cry or think this is the best story in video game history or anything, but it is something nice to follow along and something that drives you to the end of the game. As for gameplay, Sekiro is also way different from any other FromSoft game. People often throw Sekiro into the Souls genre, but I strongly disagree, and here's why. Sekiro has a rhythm-like element to its combat. Each enemy has only a few different moves that, with careful study, you will be able to catch their patterns and find an opening. Combat in a lot of ways reminds me a lot of Mega Man. Both games are about remembering patterns that are easy to understand. Your own eagerness will often be what gets you killed, leaving you with a satisfying feeling of knowing that the game isn't cheap. You just suck. It's actually the only game made by FromSoft out of maybe Armored Core 6 that I would actually say get good actually applies. Unless it's when they purposely put enemies in horrible arenas or the camera is going nuts. Another way it's like Mega Man is with the Shinobi prosthetic. This tool allows you to gain new sub-abilities that are useful in different situations. Hunting for the different Shinobi tools is fun in this Metroid designed world. You'll also find other goodies such as money and tools to level up, and all this will scratch that itch for anyone looking for some exploration. As for stealth, it's pretty simplistic but useful. If an area is overwhelming, you could try stealth killing a few guards to lower their numbers. Sekiro's big gimmick is its resurrection mechanic. When you fall in battle, you can either die or revive where you fell. Sometimes it's best to retreat than to continue fighting, as death does have a penalty with Dragon Rot and loss of skill points. Sekiro does gain new combat abilities in both offense and defense. Some are essential for success, while most mid to late game abilities are to feed the power fantasy. So, should you play Sekiro? If you were afraid that Sekiro, like other FromSoft games, would be extremely hard and unfair, fear not. Sekiro is a fun, challenging game that tests your skills as a player versus testing your patience. If you enjoy games where remembering the enemy's moves, looking for openings to punish, and providing you, the player, with a fun back and forth between you and the AI, then Sekiro is the game for you. If you also want a Metroid-style exploration game with fun combat, I would also recommend Sekiro. Sekiro, however, will not satisfy anyone looking for an RPG, as this game is not one. This is why I would say Sekiro does not fall in the Souls category, because all of those games are RPGs at their core, and Sekiro is more of an action-adventure game. Although I say Sekiro is a fun challenge, it's still not for everyone in the mood for something more laid back. I've actually had Sekiro for many years and just recently beat it because at the time I wasn't in the mood for something that challenged me. So if you aren't in that mindset, I would avoid Sekiro until you are ready. Sekiro is honestly my favorite FromSoft game to date. It's so different than any other game they put out, and unlike games like Elden Ring, it's not trying to be irritating to its players. Despite it being very different than any Souls game, people will still call it one. Even though I disagree, for this conversation, let's say I'll call it a Souls game as well. Souls are connected to other Souls games. Let's put it this way. If Elden Ring is known as the open world Souls game, and Bloodborne is known as the fast Souls game, I'm going to say Sekiro It's the fun Souls game.